Hello and welcome to the Conquer Command spreadsheet. This is the last sheet you will need to manage your entire mind, body, and life. No more dozens of apps, no more lost to-do lists and post-it notes, everything in one place, from tracking your metrics to making sure you stay healthy, to your entire life, errands, home, work, projects, and even fitness. So what we're going to do today is, of course, give you this templated sheet so you can use it anytime, anywhere. What Google Sheets does is keep you synced in the cloud, so you can access this from your phone, other computers. You can even download it as an Excel spreadsheet if you choose to use it that way. Or you could even print it out and write these things in week by week if you'd really like to do that. So I'm going to walk you through the steps to read this sheet correctly, set it up to make sure it works for you or anybody that you're going to help use this for, and keep on top of your tasks and your projects so you never have to forget anything again. That's the huge part of this sheet, is being able to see your entire week listed out at once, making sure nothing is left behind, being able to transfer things over when you don't reach them. So it's a very cool system. I want to make sure it makes sense, and I'm here to answer any questions after the end of this video if you have them. So let's rock and roll right to it, okay? So some people are interested in tracking things like when they wake up, how much sleep they get, if they've got any little mini health goals. This is a great place to put them. And so those are called your metrics, and they're right here, right up top, to make sure you reach them every day. So let's say it's the morning of Tuesday, and you can see that the date is highlighted, no matter if you might be watching this video far in the future. So right now it's October. And let's say we woke up at 7 o'clock today, okay? Now let's also say we had some trouble getting to sleep. So maybe we only got 6 hours of sleep or so. And usually, with most people, that would affect your mood. So we're going to put our mood in at a 5. And the cool thing about this is Google Sheets can create charts for you so you can see your mood in relation to your sleep or the rest of your goals over time. How cool is that, right? So you can say, wow, I really do need 7 to 8 hours or else my mood is 5 and under every day. And you can make some changes to your lifestyle. Looks like we're doing a couple challenges right now. So I've said no caffeine. I've been marking that off for the past couple weeks. And then no candy. There's a big candy work bowl or bowl at work, and that's a huge deal. So I am ignoring that for the next couple weeks as well. So at the end of the day, I'm going to mark down that I haven't touched coffee or tea. I haven't had any candy. And then I just want to write in any notes. So when I'm going back or looking through this sheet, I want to know that I didn't sleep well today. And I might be able to correlate that to how many tasks I did on Monday. Maybe I exercised too late, and so I'm now realizing I didn't sleep. So the cool thing about metrics is not only to just feel like I've checked in every day, it's that I can learn things and become a better human being and get better sleep and increase my mood and my energy levels. So right across the top, we're considering this a segment of your life. You're going to see the dates and the days here. That's pretty self-explanatory. Those first column and the first rows here are locked in, so you can see them as you scroll down the sheet. You don't ever lose your place. The rest of these are other segments in your life, right? So general life stuff like my health and my errands would go in this area. I've even got my budget kind of set out here, which I'll explain in just a moment. I've got my home. Whether you're renting or purchasing, you have home chores you have to complete every week. I've got my work. Everybody does different things for work. So if you don't have freelance or side projects or something, this might look a little different for you. If you're in retail or restaurants, your sections for this might not be so big. I've got a big project I'm working on here, so I've created a segment for that. I've got a passion project. Everybody should really have something they're working on the side just to stay happy and healthy. And then I've got my fitness, and all of us should really be working out and tracking our fitness metrics, so we've got that there. If you ever need more segments or less segments, it's really easy to just copy these things and then insert these rows above and below. If you highlight them all at once, I can say insert 11 below, copy over a new headline, and I'm ready to rock. I can change the color of that and add in more tasks, or I can just hide and delete rows, right? Very cool. So does that make sense that you have these different segments in your life, and instead of just one giant to-do list that can get really jumbled and mixed up, and you forget about things like your home chores, you segment them out by color so you can go through each day and go, okay, I've checked that off, I've checked this off, I've checked this off. Very cool, huh? So inside of these, you can see on this left side, each has these top 3 goals. So each month or each week, you might want to revisit these and make sure that your tasks that you're doing really relate to the goals that you've set for yourself. And maybe you don't use these, but sometimes just over the long term, it's helpful to look into this and be like, okay, it's my job right now to save some money and keep my health up. So I want to just focus on those numbers and those metrics. I've got a couple here for the home. I just need to get these things done throughout the month. I've got a couple here for work that I need to prep for another flight. I need to get some new tools. For this project, there's a couple goals I really got to get down. And then the rest of this spot is for just notes. You know, maybe I need to connect with Corey or somebody about a project that I've got working on, right? So I just want to make sure that I'm remembering these things, or, you know, not happy with slide 1 or something kind of silly. I just want to make sure I am taking a note about. On the life one, I've actually put in my money for the month, where I've just added in kind of these numbers that will help you understand that, of course, we all make a paycheck, we all have expenses, and then we have a leftover cash balance. Usually your bank or a budgeting app will really help you with the details of this. I do strongly recommend that, but in the sake of having just one spreadsheet, you can check in once a week and update these numbers so you know where you stand money-wise. A lot of people check in once a month. That's great. A lot of people don't check in at all, which is really scary. You should make sure that you're always on top of your assets. On this area, you can see that you've got these tasks, which are just the general crossed off tasks, just like a to-do list. And then I've broken these segments down even more because, just like I said, having a long list of to-dos all related to my life, maybe I've got kids, I've got errands, I've got my health to take care of, that can get really overwhelming. So you need to separate them into even smaller things that can easily be transferred over and used up on different days, and it keeps you a little bit more organized. So I'll teach you some shortcuts here that are really helpful. On a Mac, Command-Shift-X is strike through. If you're on a phone or if you're on a PC or a tablet or anything else, there's obviously a shortcut for that, and it's in the Google Sheets menu to strike through, so it's no big deal to figure that out. But at least learn that shortcut because it makes this really, really easy to cross off tasks. So you can see on Monday, I hit the gym. I picked up my groceries. Let's keep going through my day. And how cool is this? On Monday, all I have to do is work through this sheet step by step, not in order. I've got different things that need to happen at different times, but I know that everything is here. I'm not missing anything. When a new task comes into my life, like let's say I was in my morning meeting here and I realized that I had to have a meeting on Thursday. We talked about it. I go in, I open the sheet as soon as I can, and I put that in there, and I forget about it. And then I know that on Thursday I've got it ready to rock, and it's not in my brain just kind of taking up space or the ability to lose track of that kind of stuff. I hit my meetings. I worked on my project 1 tasks, so that means that I built out these pages. I didn't have any passion project work, and I went to the gym, remember the one up top, and I tracked my initial metrics. So a lot of people will maybe put in their entire workout here if you want, and then use this sheet when you're in the actual gym. But again, other people like to use notebooks or just keep track of that arbitrarily. But you should be tracking some sort of metric to make sure you're improving. And these are your top 3 lifts, and then a couple other things, your cardio and your flexibility, which are important. So I wanted to mark down what I did for bench this day, and next Monday these are going to change. Maybe it's 190 for 5 reps and 3 sets. And then I can use the chart feature and watch my fitness metrics go up over 6 months or a year, and that's really cool to see too. I marked down just with an X that I've stretched this day, and my mile time I've tracked with my watch. So even if you're not looking back over these things, checking in once a day and writing these numbers down, it just feels so good that you're comprehensively following a system and making sure everything's in one place. So it's Tuesday. I'm talking to you guys today on a Tuesday. We just did my metrics for the day. Looks like I'm not hitting the gym today. I've got a pretty easy day as well as my lifestyle. I've got some chores to get done, so let's pretend that I finish this up. Shift Command X, done. Super easy. I've got a morning meeting today. It's past 8 a.m., so I've taken care of that. I'm doing this presentation with you right now, so I've introduced this sheet. I've given you the top uses of how to improve your productivity and keep everything in one place. We've talked metrics, we've talked projects and goals, these things, right? We're working on tasks right now. Tonight, I've got to write one chapter for my passion project in order to stay on track. And what you guys can see here is because you're looking at your whole week, Monday through Friday, and you have the opportunity to move things to the next week, I'm making sure I'm not loading up everything I need to do. If you're building a to-do list and you're just going, okay, what do I have in my life to do right now? That can get really overwhelming. But when you're using a sheet and you can go, okay, one of the things I needed to do this week was build out project one. On my to-do list, I didn't write down finish every page of project one. I cut it up into 3-day segments and spaced it out in between the rest of my projects, so one day is never as overwhelming as the next. That makes sense? So I don't have fitness to do today or anything like that. Let's pretend that I finish my day, it's 10 p.m. I've opened up this sheet because I'm checking it all the time, right? I'm checking it when I need to add in new tasks, checking it in the morning, checking it at night, making sure my metrics are plugged in, and I'm making sure I've taken care of these stuff. Let's say I didn't get to writing one chapter. That's a big bummer. I should really take care of my habits, but it's no big deal. And the best part of this sheet is I can just highlight these things. You can use your mouse, you can do shift and just press up and down. I'm going to copy it, Command X, or cut it, and then I'm going to move it over, and I'm going to paste it, Command V. Super easy. You're never going to lose track of stuff. You don't have to throw away a piece of paper and write it down again. If I didn't get it this day, I'll move it over again, but that's, then I'm really in trouble if I'm not taking care of this stuff. So try and hit it on the day that you put it in. If I have this new meeting, maybe that gets rescheduled, bam, I'll move it over to next week, or maybe it's moving over here. Super easy. And I've got them separated into these little mini buckets, right? So I'm not just moving over, write one chapter, and it starts to really clog up with the rest of this stuff. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you. Let's talk about building a new week. So maybe it's Friday. There are some things that we do every week. It looks like I have a morning meeting at 8 a.m. every day of every week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all those things, and watch how easy this is. I'm just going to cut it again, or copy it this time because I want my past data and records in there. I'm going to scroll over. Here's Monday. Here's work. I'm going to paste it, and I'm just going to uncross off those tasks. And it's so easy. Now I've got my new week built out. I'm just going to go back and forth to these things because some of these, like, maybe my chores transfer over, but my laundry didn't have to. So I'll just take this one, move it over to Thursday again. This one's already been taken care of. I don't have to worry about that. Health and fitness, I'm doing those every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's part of my goals over here, right? So I'm moving that over, crossing that off, crossing that off. Got it all set up, and here's my new week. Something really simple you can do is when this date tracker gets to your new week, you can highlight Monday all the way to Sunday and just do hide these columns. And then you're not scrolling back and forth, and you've got this new week set up. Pretty cool, right? I've got my tasks, I've got my goals, I've got notes, I've got my metrics, I've got my fitness, I've got my projects. We run this thing for the whole month, and you can look back through your month and understand when you took care of chores, when you hit project deadlines. If anybody ever asks, you're like, yes, I took care of that on Thursday 2 weeks ago, so here's the email. Or if you're at work, okay, here was how many hours I worked at the restaurant this month, so got to make sure my paycheck matches up to that or something. Pretty cool, huh? Talked about tasks, talked about running this system. Let's talk about setting up a new month. So there's a couple things you can do here. You might want to keep your entire past month, month over month, and then all you would really do is just duplicate this sheet. And now I've got a new one that I can clear out and edit. Or you can use the original one and clear everything out, clear the dates out, and just keep one sheet up, keep it real minimal. You might want to copy your metrics somewhere else so you just have them if you're using them for your charts. But let's say I've duplicated this, and just for the sake of our example here, I'll just rename it next month. I'm going to highlight B all the way over to the end here, and I'm just going to do clear columns. Bam. Fresh new sheet. Your goals are still sitting in here if you're working on them. Your metrics are still here if you're tracking the same kind of things. And then the only real, let's call it difficult if we have to on this sheet, is to type in the new dates and the new day. So what you can do here is pretend it's November. Again, you might be watching this far in the future, and let's just pretend that's a Monday. You check the calendar to make sure that matches up. You just highlight these things and stretch them over. Look at that. It just copies and adds on to the new dates. Let's slide it all the way to the end because I want to show you that at the end of this sheet, it does extend about a week into a new month, because here it transfers into a new month right on a Wednesday, and I'm deep in my work on a Wednesday. I don't want to have to switch over to a new sheet and clear this stuff up. I want to just look at the same sheet until Friday when I can transfer this over. So I always give myself a couple extra days in this system. Hope that makes sense. Very cool. So again, you've got the date counter on here. You don't even need to think about what date or what day it is. You just open up this sheet, you work through your system, and you transfer over the things that you didn't get to take care of. Let's move this over. Very cool. So again, this is so editable for anything you want to put in here. New projects, errands, your fitness can be extended, your metrics can be extended. If you zoom out here, I think it's a little bit more helpful. Even you can see your entire month or a couple weeks at a time. You can see what days start to look really backed up, and you can move things around. It's your entire mind, body, and life in a single place. So I hope this is helpful. Download this template. It'll have some of these examples in here for you so you can get started right away. Remember, you can just clear it by highlighting B all the way to the end and using clear. You can set up your own goals and all your assets and things like that. And just make sure you check in this sheet every day, because the power of a system is consistency and discipline. And using a sheet like this is just the easiest possible way to stay on top of everything, make sure you're not losing track of your tasks, and just 10xing your productivity immediately. So leave me any questions in the field report. Let me know how you might change this and use this in your own life so I can make it even better for everyone else. And remember, do good, be great, and conquer today.